welcome to another exciting episode of Dayspring Discussions. I'm your host, Sean McGahee, and this is a show where we talk about movies, TV, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books. If you geek out about it, we're going to talk about it. You can find us on the Facebook group, dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com, and of course Twitter. Hit us up there, guys. And you can listen to us on iTunes, YouTube, Podomatic, and now Patreon. Well, welcome one and all. It is a fabulous Friday here. The weekend is upon us. More importantly, New York Comic Con is upon us, amongst other things. I am going to a late night showing of Blade Runner 2049 tonight. That's right. Reviews are out. Everyone says it's fabulous. It's awesome. So I'm excited to see it. I'm not a huge fan of the original Blade Runner. I think it's okay. Just last month, I showed my wife Lisa Blade Runner for the first time, and she was like, which is kind of how I feel about it. But I'm really excited for this one. Denis Villeneuve, who has directed great films such as The Arrival and Prisoners, puts a lot of faith in the project for me. The visual style, the way it looks pretty good, so I'm kind of excited for that. So I will have a review for that up this weekend, so go see it yourself. And then hopefully by Sunday, I'll have a review up. You can bounce ideas off of me. You can email me back, tell me how much my ideas suck, all that stuff. So go see Blade Runner. I'll go see it, and then we can discuss it later. And as I said, of course, New York Comic Con started yesterday, and we're already getting a lot of good stuff going on. So that's what today's show is going to be about. I'm going to talk about a couple things that were announced yesterday at Comic Con. Couple trailers, couple long-awaited movies that are kind of moving along in the development process, and then we'll go from there, guys. One thing I am waiting for is the new Pacific Rim 2, Pacific Rim Uprising trailer. They teased it yesterday, as well as some photos. That's coming out today. I'm super excited about it, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do a review until maybe Sunday or Monday at the latest. We'll wait and see about that, but you can be sure, even though I'm not going to post anything maybe this weekend, I'll be coming back on Monday to review all the other New York Comic Con goodness that is going to come in the next couple days. Okay, starting off with our first news story of the day, and of course, it's an X-Men story, so I got to start with it. It looks like the director of the first 3 Pirates of the Caribbean movies, Gore Verbinski, is locking in a deal to direct Gambit for 20th Century Fox. He's in final negotiations to direct the spin-off X-Men film that is still set to star Channing Tatum. Last month, Tatum revealed that the project is starting from scratch, script and all. Just last week, the rumored plot details emerged for the film, which was originally based on a treatment by the character co-creator and X-Men legendary writer Chris Claremont. The movie will reportedly explore the comic book origins of the Guild of Thieves and Assassins and the war between these two clans, and also Gambit's love interest, Belladonna, who belongs to the Guild of Assassins. Kind of a little Romeo and Juliet thing going on there. And then they're going to jump forward in time where Gambit is hired by Nathan Essex, a.k.a. Mr. Sinister, to steal a mysterious trunk that was stolen from the Guild of Assassins. Gambit has yet to have a release date. Alright guys, so a little movement on the Gambit movie front. It's kind of news because this film has been in limbo for quite some time. A year or two ago, it was on full track. Channing Tatum was aboard. They had Doug Liman get set to direct. They were moving forward with everything, and then it stopped. Everything, the brakes were put on, halted, and really what happened was Deadpool. Deadpool showed 20th Century Fox and other studios that you can do a good comic book film for low cost. Deadpool only cost like $60 million. And in a day when studios are spending $200+ million on a comic book movie or a big franchise movie, it was kind of a surprise. So Deadpool not only changed the game as far as the genre, but also in terms of budget-wise. And I think 20th Century Fox was like, well, we made all this money on Deadpool. We didn't spend that much money, so why can't we do the same thing for Gambit? So I think that's kind of what happened to the film. And I totally agree. Before it was shut down, Gambit was on set to make $150 million budget, which is way too much for a solo X-Men film. You don't need that much, especially since really, unlike Wolverine Origins, it had a bunch of different characters in it that really didn't work with a film that should have centered solely on Wolverine and Sabretooth. The second Wolverine film was the best way to go. Just had Wolverine, maybe a couple random mutants in there, but mainly focus on him. That's what this movie needs to do. Let's see Gambit. Sure, let's bring in our villain of Mr. Sinister. I love you, Mr. Sinister, by the way. And let's follow that storyline. Let's not bring in any other X-Men. I don't want to see a Wolverine appearance. I don't want to see a Deadpool appearance, okay? Give me Gambit, the Guild of Thieves, the Guild of Assassins, his personal story. I think it's good enough that we can do something with that. Now, as far as Gore Verbinski set to direct the film, okay, I love the first Pirates of the Caribbean film. It's a great film, all-time classic in my eyes. The second one, kind of the Empire Strikes Back of it. I get it. I liked it. But the problem with that film is that it led directly into the third film, which was complete crap. I think the third Pirates of the Caribbean film was probably my least favorite of the Pirates of the Caribbean, and that's including the last two that have been, The third film really dropped the ball. I think it had more, though, to do with the studio, given that you see how good that first film is. The studio didn't, I think, realize what a hit they had in their hands. Studio execs take notice. They want more of a say in it. And I think that's really what happened to the franchise as we got into that third film. So if you just look at that first film, where Verbinski was really just doing his thing, very good style. So with that, I'm excited. I think he can do a good job on Gambit. But is anyone really interested in Gambit film? When I was a kid, I loved Gambit. Great character. There's a lot there. But a lot of people don't really care about Gambit, especially the fact that it's been delayed by so much. One of the reasons I think 20th Century Fox is getting a guy like Channing Tatum versus sticking with Taylor Kitsch, who played Gambit in the Wolverine Origins film, is to get people more excited. Channing Tatum, an actor who I thought was horrible when he first came on the scene. He's gotten better, though. Films like 21 Jump Street or Foxcatcher have really seen that he stepped up his game. He's more serious about his acting. So to me, it's just about pulling off that Cajun accent. If you can do it, great. If Gore Verbinski can do the film he wants, great. We'll just have to wait and see. This film has been stuck in limbo for a while, so I still don't have that high of hopes that it's actually going to get made within the next couple years. Speaking of films that have been in long-awaited development, Todd McFarlane was talking at Comic-Con yesterday about his Spawn reboot that he is set to direct. According to Deadline, McFarlane revealed that pre-production of the film is set to begin in February. McFarlane reiterated that the film will be a dark and rated R film, so far as to say that it'll actually be a harder R rating than Deadpool. The film is slated for a meager $10 million budget, which is pretty low for superhero films these days, but not that low for a studio like Blumhouse Productions, which is going to be the distributor. It's smaller scale for a superhero film, but McFarlane himself is also putting up some of his money to push things through, which he says is a good thing, saying, quote, "I'm spending my own money, so who cares if it doesn't work out? It's a $10 million budget movie, and a studio would just get a 22-year-old punk director. I just want to be the old punk directing it." Spawn first appeared in Spawn #1 in 1992 and became part of the 90s dark and brutal anti-hero craze. The character has several powers, including teleportation, shape-shifting, and utilizes a variety of weapons. Spawn previously had a big screen adaptation in 1997, starring Michael Jai White as the title character. I myself saw that film 3 times in theaters. I'm not too proud about that in my youth. So this is another film that's been stuck in limbo for a while. Todd McFarlane's been saying for over a decade now that he's going to make another Spawn movie. Now this looks like he's finally found a distributor. He might actually push it through. $10 million though, that's pretty low in my opinion. I mean, I was thinking maybe like Deadpool money, like 50, 60 million maybe. $10 million for a Spawn movie, a movie about a character who's from hell, comes back, has all these special powers, has to fight the monster, aka Vindicator. I don't see that being a good budget for a film that needs at least a decent amount of special effects. Now, McFarlane is also a first-time director, which I think is a mistake. I know he was very unpleased with how Spawn was used and how that first movie went, So he wants more control of the character. He wants to control its own destiny. I get it, but just because you're a good storyteller and a good comic writer doesn't mean you can direct a film. Sorry, McFarlane, that's the truth. You've never directed a film before, you have no idea how to direct a film, and you're going to start with your most beloved property, a property that a lot of people love as well, and you're going to jump in just because you want creative control. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm totally wrong about this, but in a day when we see a lot of characters being used by the studios in ways that we don't originally see them on the page, I get that McFarlane wants to make something true to his character that he created all those decades ago. You can tell a story, McFarlane. There's no doubting that. I'm just so worried about that he's never directed a film. And the reason this film is so low budget, the reason it's being in Blumhouse, nothing against Blumhouse at all, is because McFarlane wants so much control of it. No other studio was willing to give McFarlane that kind of control or let him direct. And again, that goes to show McFarlane, I hear he's kind of an asshole too. That's what I've heard. I get it. He knows what he wants. It's his property. I get it. But that's not going to ensure its success. Going completely true to the character is not going to ensure its success. Let's take a look at Marvel, for instance, okay? Winter Soldier or Civil War were not direct adaptations to the comic book. They were adapted for the film, for the characters, for the moment, and it all turned out okay. McFarlane wants something so true to his creation, he's not willing to play ball with any other studio or anybody to see it come to fruition. I wish him all the best, because I do like Spawn. I love the HBO animated series, which if you haven't checked it out, guys, it's on HBO Now app, or I think you can find it on YouTube too. Go check that out. That's a great adaptation of the character from the comic books. I like the character. I want to see it succeed. I want to see this film succeed. And it hasn't even started. I know. I'm putting the cart before the horse here. And I know everyone needs their shot. But for someone who's never directed anything before, such as Todd McFarlane, I think it might be a little mistake. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. But I don't know. Alright guys, so stepping out of long-awaited films, and we're going to a couple trailers right now. AMC debuted a new teaser trailer for The Walking Dead Season 8. The series is set to come back on October 22nd. And I gotta be honest guys, I don't watch The Walking Dead. I'm mentioning it now to let you know that I saw it. It looks okay. I have people talk about The Walking Dead. I know several people that love The Walking Dead. And when The Walking Dead Season 8 comes back, I'm hoping to get somebody on that knows Walking Dead so they can talk about how they feel about The Walking Dead. I don't watch Doctor Who either. That's why I bring Lourdes on here, because she loves Doctor Who. She watches Doctor Who. And she can provide something for those of you who like Doctor Who. Same thing with Walking Dead. My Walking Dead guy used to be Josh. He can't really come on the show too much anymore because he got a life. So hopefully I can bring someone else back in here when The Walking Dead comes back on the air and we can talk about that. So stay tuned. Another trailer that came out was the first trailer for the Keanu Reeves film Replicas that dropped at Comic-Con. The trailer casts Reeves as a brilliant scientist who suffers the traumatic loss of his wife and children, whom he brings back from the dead, seemingly as synthetic humanoids imbued with their respective memories. No scheduled release date is set for Replicas. So this film looks pretty interesting. It looks like it's going to deal a lot with kind of morality of death and science and God and kind of all those themes. Something maybe similar to what Ex Machina touched on several years ago. So it looked interesting, especially Keanu Reeves. I know a lot of people like to bag on Keanu Reeves, but I think he's decent. He has lots of films that I really enjoy, and people always knock on his personality and his acting ability, but really, he does a good job. And especially from what I hear, he's a really good person outside of acting. So I gotta support him on that. If you haven't seen that trailer, go check it out. I'm very curious when the release date's going to be set for it, but I think it looks good. So check it out. Alright guys, the last thing for today is another trailer. The first full-length trailer for Sci-Fi's Happy was released online. The show, which is based on an adaptation of Grant Morrison's book from Image Comics, stars Christopher Meloni and Patton Oswalt. The first season is set to run for 8 episodes and follows Nick Sachs, an intoxicated, corrupt ex-cop turned hitman who's adrift in a world of casual murder, soulless sex, and betrayal. After a hit gone wrong, his inebriated life is forever changed by a tiny, relentless, positive, imaginary blue winged horse named Happy. Happy premieres December 6th on Sci-Fi. Looks kind of interesting. Looks kind of in the vein of, say, a Wilfred or so, where you have this character who's imagining another character, only this is like an animated blue horse instead of a man in a stuffed dog costume. Could be interesting. The main reason I think this looks good is Christopher Meloni. Great actor, good in Law & Order, looks interesting. Go check that trailer out. I mean, the trailer didn't give a lot about it, but I think it's something I could be interested in, something maybe I couldn't. It premieres on Sci-Fi, and Sci-Fi is usually hit or miss when it comes to shows for me. So hopefully this one's a hit. It looks crazy enough that it just might not be my alley. And that's it for me today, guys. Let me know what you think. Do you think Todd McFarlane directing Spawn is a good idea? Do you think the Gambit movie is actually ever going to get made? And then let me know what you thought about the Happy and Replicas trailer too. Like I said, I'm hopefully getting a Blade Runner 2049 review up on Sunday, so go see the movie and then hear what I have to say about it. And then back on Monday, I'm going to be going through all the other New York Comic Con news. I'm definitely excited for the Pacific Rim Uprising trailer that's set to come out today. Look on the Facebook group page. You can be sure that I'm going to share it as soon as I see it because I'm excited for this film. Otherwise, hit me up, dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com or on Twitter. You can also find me personally on Twitter and Instagram under SlimDayspring12. And that's it for me, guys. Hope you enjoy your weekend. And until next time, may the Force be with us all.